Hello, 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 everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. And Happy New Year to everyone. May this new year be filled with joy, prosperity, and peace. To all of you and your family and friends, and to the universe. Today is a very auspicious day, I was told by our guest today. Just before our show, she mentioned something which I totally forgot. But this is auspicious in another way for me, is because it's a season 4 and it's a first episode. I wanted to start with a prayer, or with a person who is also spiritual mentor and holistic coach for many of us. That's what we did when we were growing up in India. My family is very spiritual family, and we always have every first day of the month or first day of the week, or it doesn't matter, every day, every minute is a new birth for us. So it has to be celebrated in such way. So before I keep talking about this, and I can do that all day all long, I would like to introduce Patti. Patti is the founder and CEO of UNIV of Soul, a resource center that specializes in wholeness, spirituality, and creativity, combining East and West philosophy with intuitive and practical wisdom. I have befriended Patti last year through another group where I was member of, and immediately we clicked. So it felt like, oh, I should get her on my show. I should get her on my show. What an apt time for her to come on my show and share her wisdom of how we can carry ourselves on day-to-day life, so that our business success is inevitable. It depends on, it is what you do today which is going to result the future, or which is going to result what you want tomorrow. So that's exactly what we are going to be discussing. Patti will be sharing with us her wisdom, and she's got 7 essential spiritual laws which she coaches other business owners with. So she'll be sharing some of that, and she'll be putting her links. So I'm going to welcome Patti. Patti, thank you very much for coming on the show. I really, really appreciate that. And it's really early morning. I wanted to be her to be on the show 1 o'clock my time, which would have been about 3 o'clock or something like that, which I said, oh, that's not fair, is it? So we've got to treat our guest like God. That's what my mom used to say. So yes, decent hour at 9 o'clock, her time would be better. So Patti, share with us what you do, how you got in, and what can we do to, because we've been through such a pain last year, whole year, and we are seeing back of it slowly. I think it is going to go inevitably. So share with us your wisdom and tell us what we can do.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sudha. I am so honored to be here this morning. And like you mentioned, it's an auspicious day with the 3 kings and all this spirituality and, honoring so many. And I'm honored. Thank you again for having me here. I am Pati Maez, and surprisingly, many people come to me from all different beliefs, religious beliefs, Muslims. We have Hindu, Christianity, and a lot of them say, but this isn't my faith. And I say, well, it isn't. It's everybody's faith if you believe in yourself, if you have faith within yourself. And so what happened with me is I started when I was very young. I had a vision when I was around 4 years old, and I told my parents about it. And it is what I'm doing now. I'm living on purpose. I'm practicing every day. And what I suggest to everyone is to take a deep breath. Take a deep breath within yourself and remind yourself, put little Post-its in different places to remind yourself to take a deep breath. And you may notice that I'm going to be doing that while I am speaking and having this beautiful conversation with Sudha today. And so what happened was at 6 years old, I witnessed the bruise. By the time I was 6 years old, I'd witnessed the bruising of domestic violence. And I said, that'll never happen to me. And I stomped my right foot and I said, from now on, I am a businesswoman. And so up went the blinders, and then slowly the wall was built around me. And my focus was being a businesswoman, because my father always said, take care of yourself, because nobody else can take care of you like you can. So he was my first spiritual teacher. And he saw something different about me. And I started, like I said, very young, where I started having visions and seeing the world differently. My brother teases me and says that I live my life backwards. I live my life very different. and that I see things that most people aren't able to see or can't see or aren't willing to see. So as time went on, I experienced what I said I would never let that happen to me in my mid-30s. And I realized, okay, I could be a victim or I could be a victor in this situation. So throughout my life, I took adversities, trauma, a lot of trauma, and I took all of those situations and created opportunities. And how I did that was having that faith within, having, a structure at the very early, the early days of my life. So what I say to these people who come to me is that when you honor your body, your mind, and your spirit, you don't need outside sources to tell you what to believe, how to believe, and who you are. Because we all come here with a purpose. We all come here with a mission. We all come here with something. And the moment that we're conceived, well, the world starts telling us who we are. Oh, it's going to be a girl. It's going to be a boy. She's going to wear pink. Well, back in my days, it used to be pink and blue, right? Nowadays, some of the women want black and all these bright, beautiful colors, which, as you can see, I'm all about color. So, the seven spiritual essentials, I created over, I've been coaching and mentoring for over 20 years now. And yes, over 20 years. And of course, the business has evolved. I mean, we started out in person, phone calls. And I knew the moment social media came on board that I was going to be online and that I was going to learn everything. I'm not a techie type, but I will learn it. You teach me, I will learn it and use it to benefit others. So these seven spiritual essentials, I'll talk about number one. The first spiritual essential is the Maez method. I called it the Maez method because obviously, I created the Maez method, but also it is all about the breath work. It is so important. Now, why is spirituality important in business? Well, it's important in everything because everything that we touch was created from something. And usually, we can say that it was created from science or created from something, just much greater than we can even imagine. And not to get into that part of it, but my philosophy is I took from the East-West philosophy and some of my native teachings, along with some of the other cultural teachings that I received. So, okay, the Maez method. It's a breathing technique that takes you into your body. And a lot of us that, when I ask people, take a deep breath, people go, and I say, you just held your breath, right? And so I'll say, okay, imagine your belly is a balloon. And then, so when you do inhale, you take an inhale, you just imagine your belly growing as big as the moon. And from there, you're filling your whole body because your lungs go all the way down, right? People think that your lungs are only up here in your chest. So anyhow, so you take that deep breath, and what you do, you slowly learn to fill your whole body with that breath. You take in more and hold it a little longer, and then release it even longer, slower, longer. And so I discovered for myself, and I started using it with my clients, with my friends, and, practicing with others many years ago, and discovered that was the tool that was going to save my life. And so in high school, I'll just add this piece, that in high school, I studied and read a lot when I was a kid and didn't know that I had dyslexia and I had all these other things that, were diagnosed later as an adult, that, you have ADD, you have dyslexia, dysgraphia, all these titles, right? But I refused to own those titles. I said, I'm not claiming any of this stuff because I'm smart and I'm a businesswoman and I don't need that stuff. Well, I discovered that the breath work was what helped me. It helped me to pause. It helped me to be still and quiet. And it helped me to notice that when I'm in that breath, that I'm not paying attention to anybody else's business out there. I'm not worried about what's happening in the future. The past happened. It's going to be with us the rest of our life. So I'm not going to, live in that world. Yes, once in a while I go back there, but then I remind myself to come back. So what I do with that Maez method is I help you to bring the past and the future into your head, mix it up with your brilliance, and allow it to be in with all those mind thoughts, the crazy, the good, and the ugly, and whatever is there. And I ask you to bring your head down to your heart and lock it in with your heart. Your heart has both the conditional and unconditional boundaries and love, right? So when we lock in our head with our heart, it unlocks our core essence. And our core essence is our intuition. It is the place that where all the answers reside. When we're questioning everyone out there, what about this? What about that? What happens is we're listening to other voices instead of our own. And we do have all those answers within us. And so back to the people that come to me, they say, I've been to that coach, this coach, and they told me I was healed, but I don't feel healed. And what do I do about this? I say, how about we breathe? How about we just take a moment and take a deep breath? Now tell me what it is. Well, I need clarity. Clarity about what? Well, I want a bigger business. I want more money. I want a new relationship. And I sit there and I say, okay, whoa. The universe is working with you and with us. And the universe needs specifics. How about we start with one thing? And with all of what we've been experiencing, right? You mentioned that earlier, is the stresses, the domestic violence, all of the loss of jobs, of deaths, of the economy, and this election that's happening right now. I mean, this country is turning. I mean, it's like a tumbleweed. I was born in Arizona, and I remember tumbleweeds would blow and just roll around. And that's kind of how I feel about this, the global world, the crisis in virus. And okay, so all of that is happening, right? So what we want to do is stop that tumbleweed from rolling around or freaking out in the chaos by pausing, finding a place that is sacred to you, that is your place, that is only for you, and pause there and go there all the time. Make it a habit to practice going there and pausing. Being with yourself and your divine, whatever that is. It could be a Coke bottle that you honor. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Be in that silence and breathe. Notice how I was going on and on and on, and then suddenly breathe. Take that breath. Enter that silence, allowing for nothing to happen, and honoring the thoughts and the things that want to fleet through. Just say, thank you for coming, and bye-bye. Thank you for coming. And then slowly you'll start to notice that those voices and all of that external chaos isn't showing up for you as much as it was. And it is a practice. It is a practice. And you must do it all day long, every day.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's like listening to my grandma. She says the same thing. I'm not saying you're my grandma.
I love that because I'm called spiritual mama.
My grandma is my guru.
I'm going to add to that, since you said, well, I didn't mean that. Is that I dreamed my whole life I wanted to be a nana. I wanted to be a grandma. So thank you. I'm going to take that as a compliment. So go ahead. I know what you're saying.
Thank you. So yes, I feel like I'm hearing. I must say that I did miss my path. At one point, you start rebelling on things. I wish I stayed on the path. Like I am hearing my echo. If Hey, anyone, do you have, can you hear me?
I hear you just
If there
fine.
is an
There's no
echo.
echo here. Everything's clear here.
Okay. So what happens is whenever she says to me is, Sudha, I have got the same issue with labels. I am an ADHD, ADD, or whatever. I do have a problem with that, and I'm a hyper as well. So that is when I realized that meditation and yoga and other spiritual tools does help you quite big way to come to that center where you are. So that way it is. So how do people, you mentioned about the clarity. I'm going back to your system of Maze method, which is that is a breath work. And what are the other laws? And I know we can't talk about all 7 of them. If you could give us a couple of other essentials, what
Sure.
would that be, and how can we work with you?
Okay,
If you,
awesome. Thank you. Great question, Sudha. So with the Maze method, the whole point of the Maze method is to center, align, and ground into
yes,
yourself, into the core of Mother Earth. And that is to become conscious, clear, and congruent with your message, with your ideas, with your concepts, with your business plan, with your relationship, whatever it is, in order to collaborate with others. Now, sometimes we say, I did it all myself. I don't want anybody else to do this for me, or we're afraid to ask for help, or we think that nobody else can do it as good as us. We don't realize that it's a sign of perfection or a sign of fear, right? It's usually fear that shows up. And so with the Maze method, when I say to become conscious, that means to become aware of what you're saying, what you're thinking, what you're eating, what you're drinking, who you're surrounded by. Very important to surround yourself with people that are improving your life, who are optimistic with you, who are enthusiastic, who are wanting to see your brilliance shine. Because I believe everyone has brilliance. And I see that in everyone. And most people can't see that for themselves. So to become aware, right? To become conscious. And then expanding that, once you get very clear with yourself, get grounded in yourself, you get conscious, and then you get clear. And when you get clear, that's the clarity that most people are seeking in their business. Again, so many of us want relationship with this, want that. And it's like, pick 2 things in your life and focus on that. I use a medicine wheel, a life wheel, where you cut it up in those pie shapes, and then you list all of your 8 values or more, whatever it is you want to do. But I use 8. It's easy, an easy number to work with. And you break it down by rating what those values are, and then you can come to a place of what your priorities are. And once you focus on those 2 priorities, you'll end up focusing on one. And that one will help you get clear. And once you get clear on that, you become congruent with your message, what you want to say, how you want your business to look, what your color, your branding, and all of those terms that are used today. So then what happens is you can then collaborate with others. It's easier to delegate. It's easier to allow other people who have expertise, and you're asking me for that today, right?
It's easier to convey the message. It's always the communication which is a problem when people are working with a team.
Yes.
They cannot communicate their vision if they are not clear by themselves. They have to
Exactly.
get clear before they can communicate, because there is a two-way conversation going in your head. Oh, that doesn't look right. Oh, that doesn't look right. And that is the message which is going through energetically to another person, because they don't know what they are, what your business is. They're only hearing it through you.
Right.
So that is very interesting. Joe, one of our uh, attendees, she's my friend as well.
Awesome.
Joe is asking, she's finding it difficult to breathe. I
Ah,
find it difficult to breathe, is what she's saying. So do you have anything for her which she can use
yes.
so that it becomes a little bit easier for her?
Yes, Joe, I would ask you to notice how you're breathing. Okay, earlier I'm not sure if you were here on earlier. And so when you take a deep breath, some people take a deep breath, and if you find yourself raising your shoulders or one shoulder, or if you're walking around, look into the mirror. Go look at yourself in the mirror. And if you find, or in your computer there, you can see yourself, right? You can image of yourself. So if you're raising your shoulders, one shoulder or the other, or both, I ask you to put one hand on your shoulder and the other on your belly. And that way you can tell if you're breathing into your belly or breathing into your chest. And so you can start with breathing through your mouth, as in just, sucking some air in and pushing your belly out, just physically doing that, pushing your belly out, just right. And then what happens is, once you do that and you notice that your shoulders are going up, then you slowly close your mouth. You can move your hand, but keep doing that. And it's a practice. Keep doing that. And if you start getting dizzy, yay. If you yawn, awesome. Right? I don't mind when people yawn around me, because it tells me that their diaphragm is relaxed and they're breathing. So, which works for me. So anyhow, so lower your shoulders, fill your belly like a balloon, and then slowly release that breath. And if you have to do it through your mouth, continue that. Otherwise, try doing it through your nose and then pushing out through your mouth, and then breathe in through your nose and then push out through your nose. And you just gradually do this a little at a time, and then you'll find that the breath will start to settle into your body, and it'll become a natural practice. Hope that helps you, Joe. Let us know.
Yes, and
in the comments.
she has said again, I have a very shallow breath.
Yes.
So that means she's breathing on her chest rather than on her tummy. So
yes,
or in her tummy. Sorry.
Right. So that shallow breath is up here. So again, that shallow breath, it takes practice. So when I say, okay, so your shoulders aren't going up, but you're still going, right? That breath is getting stuck right up here because you're not filling your belly. You're constricting this area, so it's shallow. So it's a practice. You just want to take that breath and just slowly imagine yourself just like taking it. I'm just going to give an example here, see if it can be seen. So I'm taking the breath, and that breath, because I practice all the time, I can feel that breath all the way down in the soles of my feet because I've been doing it for a while. So I'm asking you to allow yourself to imagine yourself filling, just push out your stomach. We've been told, oh, women, you should have a flat stomach, and you shouldn't have this belly. Well, I say make it as big as you can, because it'll help you to fill your whole body to breathe, take that whole breath in. So hopefully that was helpful. If not, Joe, reach out to me. I'll be happy. Send me a direct message on Messenger. I'll be happy to walk that through with you.
And
each other.
It's also my gran used to say the fear. Oh, she said, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
My gran used to say, sorry to override whatever you're suggesting, what you do, lie down and practice for some time, just before you're waking up. I used to have the fear is what makes us have the shallow breath.
Yes.
Some kind of fear, even I'm not fearful. but we do have some kind of fear which is going on all the time. We are anxious. We are
Yes.
other people make us, even if we are not anxious, other people will make us anxious.
Yeah, that's a really good point. That's a really good point. I love your gran. I just love your nana, your grandma. Here's the thing, that most of the time when we're breathing shallowly, unless we have some physical ailments, I mean, remember, there are some people that can only breathe in their chest. So yes, anxiousness will cause that shallow breath. Worry, fear that you're not going to get enough money to pay for your bills. You're concerned about your children. You're concerned about your schoolwork or your business work, or that you're falling behind. Remember, you are exactly where you need to be. This morning, I am honored. I am thrilled that I'm here with Sudha. This is exactly where I am supposed to be. If I'm thinking about that over there, I am not here with Sudha. So what I do is the maze method also includes the bubble. Okay, I call it the maze bubble, where everything outside of my fingertips, and imagine your arm coming out of your head or below your feet, all of that from the edge of your fingertips, if you stretch your arms out, that'll help you breathe also, Joe, is you just do this little slow movement, and everything in your bubble is your sphere, your space, your time and place. And so at this moment, I put myself in my own bubble. I usually am in my own bubble. So when I came on live with Sudha, I prepared myself. I took a deep breath, and then Sudha was there, and Sudha. So then I created Sudha. I invited her into my bubble. I'm now in her bubble. And so there's nothing else that exists, not even my life beautiful partner, my honey, that's inside his office there across, 17 steps to the house. And not even he is in my sphere. It's Sudha and I. Then when she goes live, I expand that and I invite everyone to be present with us in our bubble. But I never leave this bubble while I'm here. And what happens with most people is they don't have a bubble. They don't know the concept of a bubble, right? Or they don't have the idea of their own space and time. So I just ask everyone to consider, I invite you to consider this bubble as yours. It is yours. Empaths come to me and say, oh my goodness, I take on all this energy. These people just throw all this energy on me. And I say, whoa, whoa, whoa. You received that energy. Nobody can give you anything unless you receive it. And so yes. Don't allow anyone into your bubble. If they're giving off negative energy, say thank you and move on about your day. Move on about your day, unless you want that confrontation and that drama, or if it's feeding something else for you. Again, it's fears. And that word fear includes all of what isn't love, what isn't present for you right now. Because I always say, hashtag begin again right here. Hashtag today for tomorrow. Begin again right here, right now, right now, right now. You have every breath to remind you to begin again today for tomorrow. How am I being today? Not how I was. The past doesn't define who you are. It's who you are right now. Yes, you have a reputation, but you can always change that. And when you're focusing on what you're being and doing, you don't have to go outside to seek that approval, or, because we have so many doubts and we have so many, what are the other things? Fears of not being enough. We were told all these things. You're not good enough. You're too slow. I was told that most of my life. You're so slow. You eat so slow. I say, yes, I'm savoring my every bite of this food, right? And honoring everything that is right in front of you. And we talk about gratitude, right? That's part of the breath also. Breathing in, what do I have right now? And looking at and being present with what is here right now. What can I do about this situation right now? And also, I had an example here of a client who said to me, well, I've always been this way. I've always been this way. This is, how I've been. And I say, okay, so now you have an opportunity to be different. You can choose right here, right now. You have a couple minutes to say, I choose differently, or you can stay that way. And that's okay, because I'm going to love you anyway. It doesn't
Yes.
matter, because I'm going to breathe through that with you. So this person says, well, of course I want to change. And I say, really? I don't buy that. That doesn't mean anything to me. So what is it that you're choosing? Do you want to choose to be different, or do you want to keep doing the same thing? And so we take a deep breath together, and this person realizes, oh, I get it. Okay. And I say, you have 1 minute. I'm breathing with you for 1 minute. And then the message comes through. I want to be different today for tomorrow. And so that's how the Maez method works. And then the others, there's the 7 essentials. If you want to know more about that, I have a journal collage workshop that's coming up. It's a vision quest, virtual vision quest. Imagine that. That's coming up on Saturday, January 16th. And we will go over some of that. And
is it free or paid? And have you set up an event?
It's a paid event, and I will post the link in the chat if that's okay. You had asked me.
Yes, yeah. Go ahead.
Awesome.
Go ahead. Thank you very much. It was really insightful. At least it the spiritual practice. This is where it is different from the religious practice. I've got to make that distinction. Religious practice is more, oh, I am this, I pray to this God, or I go to church, or I go to mosque, I go to Gurdwara. It kind of restricts yourself, and they've created their own restrictions. In spirituality is about everyone and everything, so you are included in that, and we are all part of that spiritual universe, or that bubble. We have to honor that, instead of being, oh, I am this and I am that. Spirituality always wants you to expand yourself. Never, ever, ever limit yourself, saying, this is me, this is my family, this is my country, this is my religion, this is my community, or this is my society. There is no limitation in spirituality. Thank you very much. And please do put your details about the event, and also about your spiritual loss. If you've got any handout or something like that, please do add that in the link after our show. So now I want to ask you a few personal questions, just 3 rapid fire round. It's not very difficult. It's not too personal either.
It's okay. I'm pretty open with my life, so ask me anything.
I'm going to be nosy, because I do want to know, what was that crystal you had, the palm stone you had when you came about? What was that?
Well, I'm going to say, awesome noticing on your part. So very observant, very cool. I love it, Sudha. And by the way, Sudha doesn't miss a beat. So notice what she's up to also. Okay, so this was a crystal. It is a tangerine crystal. It's a rare crystal that was a gift from a dear friend of mine. In December 5th was my birthday, and so she offered this stone to me. And thank you so much. And
it's almost 1 month old anyway.
I know, that's true, right? And so what happened was, this crystal came to me, and I cleared the crystal before I picked it up, and that's what I do with all the crystals. They're usually gifted to me, because they come in a very interesting way. I don't like to practice using tools that I can't use from nature or within myself. I don't want to depend on this crystal, let's say. But when this crystal came, I looked at the crystal, and there were all these images and stories in this crystal that were helping me to get focused and clear on how do I want to proceed with my life, my personal and my business life. They go hand in hand. And so,
You can see
yes.
my crystals.
Yes, I love them. I noticed those also. And what's really
And
cool,
my crystal is everywhere. It's everywhere. I've got a mandala here, which is again dotted with crystals. So again, I'm going to go back to the rapid fire round.
Oh, that's right. Rapid fire.
Morning. Are you a morning person or evening?
Well, I am both. And what's interesting about that is that if you had asked me to come on at 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, I would have come on, because I show up when it's appropriate, when I'm being asked to be present. And so I would have shown up. And so the fact that you made it 9 o'clock, okay, so I'm a morning person. I'll wake up early because I'm excited for life, number one. There are times that I will sleep in maybe once or twice a month because I am rejuvenating. I am allowing myself that time to just kind of be cozy. And because there are times that I'm a night owl, I'll be out in my studio here and paint, or I'll write. I'm writing a book, by the way. My book will be published sometime this first quarter of this year. And I'm super excited about this book. It's based on the art of practical wisdom. So obviously I'm going to stay up. I get these moments where these surges where the inspiration happens. And so I'll come out, I'll sit with a crystal, whether it's this one, or I have a bunch that are sitting here on my medicine wheel that I created this morning for us. And I have the animal cards here also. We didn't even talk about that. But anyhow, so I'm either or, and I love the morning though. I love to wake up very early when no one else is around and watch grandfather's son and have conversations with grandpa's son. And then at night, I love when it's very quiet, and then La Luna, the moon comes out, especially the full moon, and I offer full moon ceremonies. Well, when the full moon comes out, or the moon is out, my grandmother said to me when I was a little girl, she said, never worry, you're never alone. Always look at the moon and talk to me. I will always be there for you. And so
that's exactly what my grand used to say as well. And it is always, you call grandpa son.
Yes.
It is, we call Tata, which is Tamil name. Tata means grandfather, or granddad. So that is how we've been brought up. That is Tata. That's Patti. Patti means grandma. So that's how it's been brought up. Thank you very much for bringing that. That reminds me of. Now I know why I clicked with you, Patti. The second thing is, are you a sea person or city person? Are you the nature? I would rather walk in the woods rather than being in the city. What kind of person are you?
I love these questions, Sudha. And as you know, as I said, I love being in the moment. So here's the interesting thing. I grew up in the desert. Okay, Arizona desert with a river, the Salt River. And my brother and I and siblings would go out to the desert. We had all these trails that we would walk on. We named them the Santa Fe Trail, the Apache Trail, and we'd go. And I would pick up pebbles, like this crystal. I would pick up pebbles to carry. They were in, I'd put in my pocket, or I'd sit and I'd look at them. So I loved the desert and the river. Then as I got older, I moved to Los Angeles. And Los Angeles, I love Los Angeles. I love the city. I love New York. I love Chicago. I love the big city for what it offers and all that hustle and bustle. When I'm in that moment, do I want to go be there right now? No, not really. But I am in it when I'm in it. Okay, then I moved from Los Angeles, I moved to the mountains. And the mountains were an hour and a half north of Los Angeles. And I lived in the forest, and I was isolated in the forest up off this, at the top of the road, off of this access road. And I lived in this 3-story house. And I was all alone there these last, years of my life. And that's where I really honed in. That's when I decided that it was time to embrace this and share it with the world, because I was very private with my spirituality. No one really knew what
Yes,
I believed.
I am as well.
Yeah.
These days, I am coming out whenever I have chat with people like you. I am coming out, but I've been very, very private person when it comes to spirituality. I don't talk about spirituality. I don't talk about politics. Now I'm coming out. Maybe I'm getting older. Who knows
Well,
anymore?
what's cool about it is spirituality and politics, they're one and the same. Religion, politics, it's all a relationship with how am I being with myself. And so when I'm being centered, aligned, and grounded, conscious, clear, and congruent, then I can collaborate with the world. I love politics. Politics is in everything that we do, in religion, in education, in business, right? So, and then the other thing is spirituality is everything that we are. This rock was naturally made, right? We are what, 65% oxygen, 90, 80% water, right?
Yes. Abigail is asking what that crystal is, what kind of crystal is that, Patti? So I said tangerine, but maybe I'm wrong. You can tell her what that is. And I think Joe left the show. So thank you very much for answering all my questions. And sorry for being nosy.
I love the nosy.
I'm very sorry. I'm saying it for the sake of saying it. I'm not sorry at all.
No, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I love that.
No, Joe is here still. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Sudha,
thank you very much.
Sudha, may I offer just one animal? The final animal?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Okay. So this morning, I draw the medicine wheel. And I do this every morning to help guide me, just to keep me on track, to confirm and affirm that I am on track, that I am doing exactly what I need to do for my business when I'm in my studio, or that when I'm inside with my honey, in my personal relationship. So the elk showed up. The elk showed up asking everyone to pay. You had asked me at the beginning of the show, what can people do? So the elk showed up, and it's stamina. We are being asked to just kind of cruise, cut ourselves some slack, right? I mean, we have this cord around us that is so tight. So we're being asked to loosen it up so that you can breathe, that you can pay attention to what is right in front of you. So the elk is all about stamina. So that's one thing. Breathe into your body. Just to wrap up here, breathe into your body, center, align, and ground to get conscious, clear, and congruent. And then allow yourself to, this is a marathon. Life is a practice. So every day, practice. You have today for tomorrow to begin again, right where you are. Not to have to start all over and, get rid of things all over, but start right here where you are. Begin again.
We are dying and coming live every minute, every hour, every breath.
Every breath we take.
We are, when we lose the breath, we are dying. Then we are alive again when we take the breath. Yeah. So as long as you're alive, you're breathing. Okay. Yeah. So
we're breathing.
Make it a conscious breath that I am breathing. I am happy that I am living. There are many people who can't take that next breath when they lose that breath. You are so lucky. And every one of us are lucky. So thank you very much for that. And elk coming in your reading is unbelievable. By the way, people, Patti, the very first experience of Patti is when my gran, as a spiritual guru, said to me that don't do any of this. Don't take the readings. Don't do this, because we've got to protect our energy when we are. So I don't usually trust people when I do. It takes time that is the very first reading she did for me. That is my first experience with Patti, and then I kind of hooked to Patti. So she does animal reading, and she's got a few other things, and you can work with her on that if you're interested. I'm not forcing, but she will put her links in for you to do, because you need to know where you are. What I'm not saying, oh, I'm not. I don't believe in these things. It's not about belief. It's about knowing where you are and how you can. It's like a map. Once you have the map and you will have the willpower to make that decision. Yes, I am. There is a roadblock here. So what do I take, or which road should I be taking to reach my destination? Because life is not about a straight line. Oh, I have made a decision. I'm going to USA on this flight. There might be a detour. There might be layover. There might be other things which we are going through at that point. So we've got some kind of mitigation going on in our life. So that's what it's all about. You don't have to be that person or be this. Oh, I've got the reading. Oh, that's what it's going to. I come from a family where my uncle is a Vedic astrologer, and I do read charts. Astrology charts. People say, oh, just because my astrologer said this. It is not about that. It's just the guidance.
Yes, thank you for saying that. That was beautiful. Yes,
because
everything is a guidance.
It's when we are in that hole, we think that is it. That's it. Yeah. This guide comes and tells us, hey, you can come out of that hole. Do you know that? And when they say it, we might not be able to believe that we can come out. And when they put the hand in that pit and say, just hold my hand and I'll slowly take you up.
Wow.
And then you see the light. Oh my God, I can see the light.
Yes.
That's exactly what it is.
Wow.
What mentors do. That's what the coaches do. That's exactly what Patti does as well. So please do get in touch with Patti if you're interested. Again, I'm not a person who forces anyone to do anything. It is a suggestion. You have to be open to grow. Just imagine putting a plant in a bowl and covering it. Do you think the plant is going to come up or die? Just think about that. That's what it's all about. Just being open. We say, why did you put that seed in the soil and covered it with the plastic? Is that not what you ask people or ask your child? So it is about being open so that we can grow together. And with respect of we are breathing their air and we are sharing the space. We are doing everything in union.
Yes.
So that's all I've got to share with you today. And please do get in touch with Patti. Patti, thank you very much for coming on the show. Have a great, wonderful day. And Joe said it's a great interview. And there were a few people who joined us. Rosa, Abigail, what's the name of your group? Is what? I don't know which group it is, but definitely Patti will tell you what.
Oh, yes, the conscious breathing for breakfast. Yes, my Facebook group.
Conscious breathing for breakfast.
Yes, I invite you to come to conscious breathing for breakfast.
There. And anyone who wants to join, I am a spiritual person, but I do, my expertise is in tech coaching and business coaching. So you can join my group if you want. It's Growth Marketing. I will put my link as well. Or just say hi and follow all the social media. And I do talk a lot as well.
Yeah. And it's a wonderful combination, right? 7 spiritual essentials for business success. So put the two together. Sudha does the tech, I do the other, and it works beautifully. That's a nice collaboration.
Spirituality has to be in everything, as you said before. Oh, yeah. Spirituality should be there it is there already. We are going to make the conscious effort of bringing that in. I do Bhagavad Gita, leadership
Mm,
lessons in Bhagavad Gita.
I
Bhagavad
love
Gita
it.
is Indian scripture,
Uh-huh.
and I talk on this. This is my keynote, one of my keynote. I'm just tossing my own horn here. So it is about how Krishna, is apparently the first coach of the universe,
Mhm.
telling his coachee what they should do in the war. It's
Mhm.
whole Bhagavad Gita happens on the war front of Kauravas and Pandavas. It's like, don't get me started. I'll be
I know.
talking about.
I know. It's like
So
I love Bhagavad Gita
life is a war.
also. Yeah.
Life is a war. In that war zone, this coach is giving his disciple the coaching of how he should conduct that war. So that's what Bhagavad Gita is about, and that's what we are. We are all spiritual being having
Mhm.
human experience. So let's have that human experience and make it spiritual. We are all God in its own way. So thank you very much for joining, and let this year be wonderful year. Whatever happened in the past, and let's make a conscious decision that we this year is going to be the best year. It doesn't matter what is going around us. When we are right, when we are clear, when we are aligned, as Patti says, we are wonderful. Thank you very much, and I'll
Thank you.
see you all in the next one. Bye for now.
See ya.
Thanks. See ya.